So you believe that humanity as a whole is actually capable of grasping the truth about the origins of the Christian faith?
Yeah, I do. I think that, um, in fact, it's just a testament to the expertise of the people who created Christianity, who then used it for the first feudal system and are currently using it in our current version of the feudal system. How clever they are, because they have to overcome sort of the basic human propensity for reason. We need a couple things. We need, uh, you know, just more and more people who are moving into the light,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
To feel that they have a need to speak out. We need to have probably 10% of the population, able to be in position you're in, where
Hmm.
they are clear-minded and also have that sense of righteousness that they need to express.
Hmm.
They need to like communicate this as best they
Hmm.
can, and the
Yeah.
internet is, as long as it stands, we have the means to do it at this point. So that has to happen, and then of course, I mean, they're trying to set up in the new feudal system a kind of intellectual caste system where, they are, you know, debilitating our intellect, our basic capacity for it. I mean, like here in California,
Hmm.
1 in 10 male children, who's being born now has autism.
Really?
And yeah, 1 in 10. And so this is the epsilon and delta class that Huxley talked about in Brave New World,
Hmm.
being created right in front of our eyes. So, this is their goal, is to, basically debase the intellect, of humanity so that they would have no trouble with it. And so this is, one real troubling part of our present time, is that they're getting really good at this. If you look at autism, it's very interesting in that, like, I mean, I cannot heap sort of scorn upon the individual enough to really find words, but like Peter Hotez will talk about autism being a genetic disorder. Well, that's interesting, Peter, but it wasn't a genetic disorder in my generation.
Yeah.
We,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
didn't have it. So I guess the genetics have somehow had a epiphany or something. I mean, you see, this is ludicrous. You can see that it's the toxicity. The toxicity is, deliberate. They want, to debase our intellect. But even that is being exposed. More and more people are aware of it. I think that the vaccine mandates, with the COVID thing, was actually counterproductive. I think we're sort of at a diminishing returns situation where they can try stuff like the vaccine mandates, but this actually has diminishing returns. More people probably are now moved into the light than are, likely to stay in their house and wait for the vaccine to come.
Hmm.
It actually backfired. I think that there's a lot of things now, in my opinion, that are at diminishing returns. It's because there's too many people that are skeptical, and when they try to enforce greater degrees of mind control, actually produces just the opposite effect that they want. It'll produce more skepticism.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, no, I think a great struggle is occurring. Literally, the greatest struggle in humanity's history. Nothing compares to it. Uh, in that, you have, the populace, in kind of in a intellectual rebellion against the patrician class, against the oligarchs who control us with their histories and things. Um, and and this is inevitable, that the once this begins, the process will eventually free mankind. So the oligarchs are completely aware of this and are trying to, I think, accelerate the debasement of our intellects. I think that, we should be very careful about what we put in our bodies.
Hmm.
um, I
So
mean,
when you talk about oligarchs, are you talking about like these billionaires or high-powered
well,
politicians?
the controlling class is, you know, it's a secret society.
Mhm.
I don't get invited to their parties. I mean, I can certainly see their activity. Um, but in terms of identifying them, I mean, I wouldn't have a better, you know, explanation of that than anyone else. I mean, certainly the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, these individuals. What I have said is we can see, you know, where the political power is in the world. I mean, it's you can see it in in basically in at Bilderberg, you know, or in these different um, points where they bring themselves together for their little secret discussions. What the public needs to do is to get DNA evidence on all of them. We need to know what is the genetic relationship between the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the Bush families and the
Mhm.
Gettys, because I think what it will reveal is that there is family and ethnic connections, and so then we can identify the oligarchs,
Just like the
and
Flavians.
their plan will be exposed as well. So what I've said is that, you know, you can't go up to Baron Rothschild and ask for a blood sample, but there are people in the world who are related to him
Mhm.
that might be perfectly willing to give a DNA sample. Like, for example, like the Bush family or the
Mhm.
Rockefellers. Um, you know, and so this is where I would start is just see if there are, you know, cousins of the Rockefellers or of the Rothschilds or of the Bush. See if they'd be willing to give you a little, you know, swab. Because remember, with
Yeah.
DNA, you don't need to like do blood. You just a
Yeah.
swab
Yeah.
and put it in a plastic thing, and then
Mhm.
start building a database. And it wouldn't be long before the entire oligarch family class, their caste,
Mhm.
would be identified. And then the question you ask, which is the most important question I think really in the world,
Mhm.
you could actually answer it.